Welcome to Step Up English channel. In today's video, we're focusing on real-life, everyday English conversations, the kind of English you actually need when talking to people in daily situations. This is not just about learning vocabulary or grammar, it's about practicing how to speak naturally and confidently in real conversations. We'll go through simple examples, common situations, and practical phrases you can use right away in your daily life. So if you want to improve your speaking skills and feel more comfortable in real conversations, this video is for you. Let's get started.
Yeah, let's dive right in. Because, honestly, this is the stuff people actually use.
Right, exactly.
Y-
Like the whole mission of our deep dive today is to take this huge stack of real life scenarios we gathered, right? Everything from like waking up super groggy in the morning to just gossiping with your friends at a cafe. We really want to extract the exact natural English phrases you actually need.
The stuff you use every single day.
Exactly. Because here's a secret that most textbooks just won't tell you. The person with absolutely flawless, perfect grammar often sounds like ruder or just more awkward than the person who only knows a few natural phrases.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
You don't need to, swallow a dictionary to live comfortably in an English-speaking environment.
Right.
You really just need to know the right phrases and, honestly, more importantly, why we use them in those specific moments.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's actually start our journey right where your day begins. Like you're waking up, you're stepping out the door, and boom, immediately the English language is just demanding your attention.
Ah, yes. The morning rush.
The absolute chaos.
Yeah, it's universally chaotic, right?
Yeah.
And the language we use, it really reflects that chaos.
It really does. Like, looking at the source material, there's this perfect example of two friends just trying to get ready. One of them says, "Time to wake up." And the response is just so painfully relatable.
What do they say?
She just groans and goes, "I stayed up too late watching my show again."
Oh, I love that. Because, notice how she completely drops any formal, rigid grammar there.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't say, my sleep schedule was delayed due to late-night television.
Right. Nobody talks like that.
No, she just owns it. Stayed up too late. It's incredibly natural.
And then, of course, the panic sets in. They're running late, so the sentences get super short. We hear all these rapid-fire instructions like, make your bed, take a quick shower, I'll grab cereal instead. And then the ultimate leaving the house question, did you lock the door?
Right, and notice what's happening mechanically there. Like, when we're in a hurry, English just strips away all the fluff.
Oh, yeah.
We rely almost entirely on these short, punchy action verbs. Make, take, grab, lock.
Yeah.
You really don't need complex sentence structures before, like, 8:20 a.m.
Definitely not.
You just need verbs to literally get you out the door.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. So you're out the door, you survive the morning rush, and then usually you immediately run into someone, right? Like a neighbor or a guy walking his dog, maybe a coworker.
Yeah, the first greetings of the day.
Exactly. And it's always that very standard exchange, "Hi, how are you today?" And the response, "I am good, thank you."
The absolute classic.
Right. But then almost instantly, they start talking about the weather.
Of course they do.
Like one person says, "The weather is so nice today, sunny and warm." And the other replies, "Yes, it is a beautiful day." And I actually have to ask you about this because it feels so cliche.
Go for it.
Is talking about the weather basically the loading screen of a human conversation?
The loading screen.
Yeah, like does it just give both people a second to literally load into the interaction before talking about real things?
What's fascinating here is that's exactly what it is. It really is a loading screen. And I think a lot of people feel frustrated by small talk when they're learning English because they think it's fake.
Right, like it's a waste of time.
Exactly. But small talk is not actually about the sun or the rain.
Okay.
It's about establishing a social contract.
Wait, what? A social contract? Am I like signing a contract when I say it's sunny outside?
Well, in a way, yeah, you are. When you say, yes, it is a beautiful day, you're actually communicating a hidden message.
Okay, what's the message?
You're essentially saying, I am friendly, I acknowledge your presence, and I'm a safe person to interact with.
Oh, wow. So it's basically a safe zone. Like, we both agree the sky is blue, so we're definitely not going to fight.
Exactly. Because imagine walking into your office, you make eye contact with a coworker, and you just stand there in absolute silence while you wait for the coffee machine.
Oh, that sounds awful. So awkward.
Right. It creates immense social friction. People feel uncomfortable. So I really want you to think about this. When you're learning the language, you might want to skip the simple greetings and just get to the quote-unquote important words.
Yeah, the real stuff.
But if you skip that loading screen, you might actually seem angry or dismissive, even if your grammar is like 100% perfect. That small talk really sets the tone for your whole day.
Wow. Okay. Note to self, do not skip the loading screen.
Never skip the loading screen.
Okay, so we're awake. We successfully navigated the weather talk without sounding angry. And now we desperately need fuel. Which brings us to the art of the daily transaction. We're going to buy coffee and food.
Ah, yes.
Ah.
And this is where the style of communication shifts pretty dramatically.
It really does. I noticed that in our sources, like in a coffee shop, we don't just walk up and say the word coffee. We get incredibly specific, but we wrap it up in this like very polite language.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says, I would like to order 2 takeout drinks, and then asks for a medium iced vanilla latte with skim milk.
And then, of course, the cashier responds with their own script, right? Like the questions you hear in almost every single transaction, they'll say things like, what's my total after taxes? Or the cashier might ask, do you have a points card?
Yeah, and we see the exact same thing in the restaurant scenario, too. There's this super polite request just to dine in. May we please have a table for 2? And then, looking at the menu, I will have the daily special. And checking the details, does it come with a soup or salad? But, honestly, I want to push back on this a little bit.
Okay.
Why do we have to use all these extra words like I would like, or may we please? I mean, if the goal of the language is just to get my coffee, why can't I just point at the menu and say, I want coffee, or give me the special?
I see what you mean.
Using I would like feels like adding this big, soft pillow around your words. Why do I have to beg for my own coffee?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not really about begging. It's about how English culture handles requests, specifically using something called modal verbs.
Modal verbs.
Yeah, words like would, could, and may. Like you said, these are your soft pillow words.
So the pillow is totally intentional then?
Very intentional. It softens the request. It shifts your language from a demand to a polite inquiry. Because think about the power dynamic for a second. If you walk up to a barista and say, I want coffee, or give me that, you kind of sound like a king giving an order to a servant.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Right. It feels very aggressive to an English speaker.
Ah, I see. It creates instant friction again, just like skipping the small talk.
Exactly. But if you say, I would like a coffee, you are acknowledging that the other person is providing you a service. You're treating them with respect as a human being.
That makes total sense.
And let's be totally honest about daily life, right?
Yeah.
Treating service workers with polite, soft pillow language usually gets you much better results, better service, and just a friendlier interaction overall.
That's such a great rule to remember. Like, I want makes the other person feel bossed around, but I would like makes them feel respected as a professional.
Bingo.
And I guess that phrasing, does it come with, is another one of those soft pillows.
Precisely. Does it come with a soup or salad? It's just a brilliant tool. You're asking for information about the food without sounding demanding.
Right, you're not saying, give me a salad.
No, you're just gently asking about the rules of the menu.
All right, so we've got our coffee, we had our lunch using all our soft pillow words, and now we need to actually get somewhere. We have to navigate the city using a bus or a subway or a taxi.
And here is where we transition from slow politeness to fast efficiency.
Yes. Here's where it gets really interesting to me. Getting around a bustling city in English is basically like having a conversational GPS.
A conversational GPS. What do you mean by that?
Well, think about a GPS app on your phone. You don't have a long, polite conversation with it.
Right.
You don't say, good morning, phone. I would really appreciate it if you could kindly show me the route.
No, you definitely don't.
You just type in the exact coordinates of your destination and it gives you the next turn. And navigating a city in a second language works exactly the same way. You really don't need a massive vocabulary. You just need a few specific question templates to act as your coordinates.
That's actually a fantastic analogy. Let's look at the public transit scenarios from the sources. A passenger just asks, does this bus go to the newly built cinema?
Exactly, just the coordinates. And the instruction they get back is just as direct. Take line 5 and transfer to line 1. You also have to deal with the ticketing machines, which is honestly always stressful. So you just ask someone nearby, can you show me how to use it? Or where can I get some coins?
Right. And we see this exact same efficiency in the taxi scenario, too. You have to communicate clearly with the driver about the money. So you ask, how exactly do you figure out the fare?
Yeah.
The driver might say, you owe me $28. And then you use this incredibly useful classic phrase, keep the change.
Okay, wait, I have to stop you right there because keep the change is such a movie phrase to me.
Really?
Yeah, like you hand the driver a $50 bill, you put on your sunglasses, and you say, keep the change.
I see the mental image.
But in real life, is that actually polite? Or does it sound a bit, I don't know, arrogant? I'd be worried I sound like I'm just throwing money at them.
That's a really valid worry, actually. But it all comes down to the context of the situation. Let's look at the pattern of this whole transportation segment we just talked about.
Okay.
Notice how direct these questions are compared to ordering food in the cafe.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even notice that. We completely dropped the soft pillow words.
We did.
Like, we didn't say, may I please know if this bus goes to the cinema? We just asked the question flat out.
Exactly. Because when you are traveling, time dictates politeness.
Time dictates politeness. I like that.
Yeah, clarity and speed become much more important than wrapping your words in a soft pillow. Just picture the scene. You're standing on a busy street, the bus doors slide open, and there's a long line of people behind you in the rain.
Right. You don't have time for a chat.
You just need the facts.
Yeah.
Does this bus go to the cinema? It's direct, it's clear, and it's perfectly polite for that exact micro moment.
Wow. So context literally changes the rules of the language. In a restaurant, you have time, so you soften everything to build respect. But on a bus, time is short, so you strip it down to be efficient. Like, efficiency is the respect in that scenario.
Exactly. Holding up the line to use 20 polite words would actually be ruder than just asking the short question.
That makes so much sense.
And that applies to the taxi, too. Keep the change isn't arrogant. It's just a fast, efficient way to say, hey, I appreciate your service. Please take this tip. And we really don't need to spend 2 minutes counting coins right now. It's the rhythm of the city.
I love that. Efficiency is respect. That's the kind of real-life English you just do not get from a textbook. Okay, so we're done being efficient. We've run our errands. We're off the bus. And we are moving on to the best part of the day. You're finally catching up with friends.
Socializing. We're stepping completely out of the transactional world now. And this is where the English becomes much more casual, much faster, and way more emotional.
Absolutely. The conversations we reviewed have this great moment between two friends making plans. One of them immediately says, oh my gosh, it's been forever.
Which is a wonderful exaggeration, by the way.
Right.
Doesn't mean a literally 1,000 years. It just means I haven't seen you in a long time, and the wait felt long because I really missed you.
Yeah, it sets a really warm, friendly tone. And then they set up the hangout. Are you free this Saturday? And the response is super casual. I think so. I do not have any plans. They suggest an idea. We could have a picnic. And then they just lock in the details. Let's meet at 1:00 p.m. near the big tree. It's so simple, but it gets the job done without sounding like a formal corporate meeting invite.
Exactly. But there's also another side to socializing that we see a lot in everyday life.
Oh, yes. The drama.
The drama.
The cafe scene.
It requires a totally different type of vocabulary.
This is hands down my favorite part of the material we looked at today. So two friends are sitting at a cafe, and they spot a guy they know, and he's over in the corner talking to some girls. The reaction phrases these friends use are just absolute gold.
They really are.
One of them gasps and says, you won't believe what I just saw. And the other immediately goes, no way.
And they instantly analyze his behavior, right? One of them says, same lines as always.
Yes.
Meaning this guy isn't even original. He uses the exact same stories to try and impress everyone.
And their reactions to the whole situation are so authentic. One says, I almost laughed out loud. And then they agree, let's grab coffee and keep an eye on this. But what really caught my attention here were these super short, modern agreement phrases.
Oh, yeah.
Like when one friend says she prefers to just sit back and watch the drama unfold, the other just says, honestly, same.
Yep.
Or when they agree on how overly confident the guy is acting, they just say, I know, right?
Honestly, same. I know, right? These are tiny, but they are fascinating phrases.
But think about it. Textbooks spend whole chapters on how to express agreement. They tell you to say things like, I'm also surprised by this, or I completely agree with your statement.
Which nobody says in a cafe.
Right. In reality, we just say same. How do these tiny little reaction phrases change a conversation from sounding like two robots reading a script to sounding like real best friends?
This raises an important question about the concept of active listening.
Active listening.
Yeah. When you're talking to a friend, they aren't just like transferring data to you like a computer. They want to know that you feel what they feel.
Okay, yeah.
So saying seriously
Yeah.
or no way proves to the other person that you are truly engaged in the emotional reality of their story.
Oh, so it's not just about agreeing with the facts, it's about matching their energy.
Exactly. It's the social glue of friendship. Imagine your friend tells you this wild, dramatic story about the guy across the cafe, and you just sit there blankly and say, "That is interesting."
Oh my gosh, the conversation would instantly die.
Right. The balloon totally deflates. But if you lean in and say, "No way, are you kidding?" the energy goes way up. You're participating in the story with them.
Social glue. I really like that. It literally holds the interaction together. And you're right. I know, right? It's such a quick, efficient way to say, I completely understand and share your exact feeling about this specific situation.
It is.
It's incredibly powerful for just 3 words.
And speaking of phrases that do a lot of work, when they say, "keep an eye on this," they're using a fantastic idiom. It just means to watch a situation carefully as it develops.
All right, so we're drinking our iced lattes, we're catching up, we're keeping an eye on the cafe drama.
Yeah.
This sounds like a perfect day.
It does.
But we have to be realistic here. Life isn't always smooth. Sometimes there are bumps in the road.
Right. You make a mistake, you suddenly feel sick, or you desperately need a favor from someone. When the stakes are high, you need very specific language.
Yeah. And the scenarios we looked at show us exactly how to handle these tough moments, too. Let's look at medical issues first. You go to the doctor or the pharmacy and you need to explain your symptoms. The phrase used is, "I have a bad cough and a sore throat." And the doctor responds, "Let me take your temperature." Or maybe you're at someone's house and you start sneezing, so you have to tell them, "I am allergic to cats."
Notice the grammatical structure of the illness there, though. I have a bad cough.
Yeah, actually, why do we say "I have a cough" instead of "I am coughing"? Because a lot of languages use a verb or an adjective to describe being sick.
Right. It's a subtle but really important psychological difference in English.
Yeah.
When you say, "I have a cough" or "I have a headache," you are treating the symptom like an object you temporarily possess.
Oh, I see.
It creates a little bit of psychological distance. You are not your illness. You just have it for now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, direct communication is key here. The doctor doesn't need your soft pillow words. They need to know exactly what hurts.
That is so interesting. But what about when you cause the problem? We looked at a whole section on apologies and mix-ups.
Yes, apologies are crucial.
And there are 2 very different kinds of apologies. Let's say you're at a nice hotel and there's a mistake with your room reservation. The staff will likely say something very formal like, "Please accept my apologies," or "It is undoubtedly our fault."
Yeah, those are highly formal professional apologies.
Hmm.
They are taking corporate responsibility for an error.
Right, but you would never say that if you accidentally bumped into someone on the street.
Ever.
In our daily life scenario, someone accidentally steps on a foot in a crowded place. They don't say, "It is undoubtedly my fault." They just say, "I apologize for stamping on your foot. I didn't do it on purpose."
And that phrase, "I didn't do it on purpose," might be one of the most vital phrases for anyone learning English.
Wait, really? Why is that one so critical?
Because it instantly explains your intention. It means it was an accident. Think about it. When someone gets their foot stepped on, their first reaction is often anger, right?
Oh, for sure.
But the second you say, "I didn't do it on purpose,"
Yeah.
you diffuse that anger. You essentially tell them, "Hey, I am clumsy, but I am not mean." It stops the conflict before it even starts.
That's a lifesaver. And sometimes you just need help, which is its own kind of bump in the road, like you're lost or your phone died or you need to borrow something. The best way to start is with the phrase, "Excuse me, I have a favor to ask you."
Which is brilliant because it politely prepares the other person.
Yeah.
You aren't just ambushing them with a sudden demand.
Right.
You're giving them a second to brace themselves that you are about to ask them for something.
So what does this all mean? If you look at all these problem scenarios, the doctor, the stepped-on foot, the lost traveler, knowing these apology and problem-solving phrases is kind of like carrying a conversational first aid kit.
A conversational first aid kit, I think that perfectly captures it.
Like you really hope you never have a bad cough or step on a stranger's foot or get so lost you need to ask a favor. You hope you don't need the first aid kit. But you feel very, very safe knowing you have it zipped up in your backpack just in case.
And for anyone listening right now, that feeling of safety is crucial. Because when you're learning, you're probably terrified of saying the wrong thing, right? Or offending someone or causing a problem.
Oh, totally. It paralyzes people.
It really does. But if you have these specific phrases ready in your mind, you know you can always fix the problem. It removes the fear entirely. and builds incredible confidence.
Exactly. You make a mistake, you pull out the verbal bandage, I didn't do it on purpose, and boom, problem solved. You can breathe again.
You completely control the narrative of the mistake. It's really empowering.
Wow. We have covered so much ground today. From the moment that alarm clock rings and you're groaning about staying up too late, to asking for your iced latte with those soft pillow words, taking the bus with direct efficiency, using social glue to gossip with your friends, and even deploying your first aid kit for a stepped-on foot.
It's a full, messy, real-life day of English.
It really is. And I want to remind you, the listener, why you should care about all of this. Mastering these everyday situations isn't about passing a grammar test. It's the ultimate shortcut to living comfortably and confidently in an English-speaking environment.
Absolutely.
You don't need to know every single word in the dictionary. You just need these core tools to handle the reality of daily life.
It all comes down to practical application. I mean, you can study verb conjugations for 10 years in a quiet room, but if you don't know how to quickly say, keep the change to a taxi driver who's holding up traffic,
Right.
or how to say no way to match your friend's energy at the cafe, you're going to struggle to actually connect with people.
Connection over perfection. That's the real goal. And that actually brings me to a final provocative thought I want to leave you with today. A little something extra to mull over on your own as you go about your week.
Okay, let's hear it.
We spent this whole time talking about the exact words to say in a conversation, right? We talked about I would like, and I didn't do it on purpose.
The essential vocabulary of daily life, yes.
Right. But what about the sounds we make when we aren't using words? Think about conversational fillers, those little sounds like or just a simple
The hidden world of nonverbal communication.
Exactly. When we're learning a language, we often put so much pressure on ourselves to speak perfectly without a single pause or stumble. We think fluency means sounding like a machine.
But we don't. Native speakers hesitate all the time.
All the time. They say, while they search for a word, they say, just to show they're still listening.
It's just natural human rhythm.
So here's the thought to take with you. Could learning how to hesitate or pause naturally in English, like actually practicing how to use these specific little sounds, like be the ultimate secret to sounding like a native speaker, even more than having perfect grammar?
That is a brilliant question. It really forces you to reconsider what fluency actually looks and sounds like in the real world.
It really does. Maybe fluency isn't about never pausing. Maybe it's simply about knowing how to pause. So think about that the next time you hear a native speaker talking. Listen closely to their ums and hms right before they start talking about the weather. You might just learn more from their pauses than from their words.